Hey, this is Johnny from johnspchut.com, and I want to talk to you today about the BIOS. Now, BIOS stands for Basic Input Output System. The BIOS is the first software program that runs when you start up your system. Yes, the first time you press the power button on your computer, the BIOS goes into action. Now, your next question might be, what does the BIOS do? Well, the BIOS is basically a program that tells your operating system, such as Windows 7 or even Linux-based operating systems, what to do. It also sets up all the parameters for the hardware that's installed inside of your computer. Now, the next question you might have is, where is the BIOS located? Well, the BIOS is stored on what's called a ROM or read-only memory chip on the motherboard. Now, the motherboard, which is what I have in front of you, this motherboard sits inside of your computer. And I'm going to zoom in. I want to give you an idea of where the BIOS chip is stored on here, and I'm going to zoom in on this motherboard. Zoom in a little more. A little more. Not too close. And this chip right here, that's your BIOS chip. Now, you might have a question. Next question you might have is, under what circumstances would I have to make a change to my BIOS? Well, generally, you don't have to make a change to your BIOS. However, the BIOS can be modified if you choose to do so. Now, sometimes you may want to tweak your BIOS settings. Usually a PC enthusiast will change the BIOS to maximize the performance and speed of their computer. However, the average everyday person will want to stay clear of the BIOS. In other words, don't touch it unless there's a problem. Now, there are times when you don't have any other choice and you're forced to make a change to the BIOS, such as when your system is not running right. A good example of when you may have to change or tweak your BIOS is when you install a new piece of hardware inside of your computer. Sometimes you will receive a message from the computer saying that the BIOS needs to be changed. Now, let's say you need to change the BIOS. The next question you might have is, how do I access the BIOS if I need to make a change? Well, this can sometimes be tricky. Depending on the make and model of your computer, getting to the BIOS will be different. For most common or most custom-built generic computers, something you would say you would build yourself from scratch, well, the BIOS can be accessed by just pressing the delete key on the keyboard of your computer. Now, here's where the tricky part comes in. For most big brand computers such as Dell, HP, IBM/Lenovo, etc., it may be, or it probably will be, different. An example of this is, I've got an HP laptop. To get to the BIOS, I have to press the escape key, the ESC key. However, on my IBM Lenovo laptop that I use for work when I'm in the office, I have to press the F1 key after turning on the computer. Well, I guess you kind of get the point of why this can sometimes be tricky. Well, that's the BIOS, and if you want to learn more about the BIOS, visit www.john, Z as in zebra, PCHUT.com. That's John's PC Hut. Thank you and take care.